Nigeria Police Force has mobilized corps to crush Ipob, ESN, talks and other elements bent on disrupting the November 6th Anambra governorship election, says Inspector General of Police Usman Baba. The overriding objective of our operational action plan is to ensure that an environment that is peaceful enough to encourage the law-abiding people of Anambra State to exercise their electoral franchise, Mr. Baba pointed out. However, for the establishing elements, for the destabilizing elements and other deviants who, despite all wise counsels, are determined to deploy violence and other illegal means to advance their political interests or constitute a clog in the wheel of peaceful atmosphere for the election. He added they should be prepared for the consequences of their actions as they will be identified, isolated and decisively dealt with, irrespective of their status, ideological inclinations or political affiliation. He stressed that the massive deployment of security operatives for the election is not to intimidate law-abiding citizens. The IGP stated this at the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) stakeholders meeting on the Anambra governorship election in Oka on Wednesday. According to him, the deployment of security operatives is to reassure the people of adequate protection by deterring misguided political elements and non-state actors bent on threatening the elections through acts of armed violence or other conduct that violates the Electoral Act. Aside from the optimal deployment of our intelligence assets to proactively frustrate any threat to the elections, we have also deployed a total of 34,587 police personnel for the purpose of protecting the personnel and assets of INEC, the electorate and residents of Anambra State during the exercise, added the National Police Chief. Speaking further, he noted that this figure will be complemented by the military and other security and intelligence agencies. Mr. Baba also mentioned that election security is designed such that all the 3 senatorial districts, 21 local government areas, 326 wards and 5,720 polling units across the state will witness adequate security coverage. He further noted that the massive deployment would also be a strong warning that the federal government was determined to bring subversive characters to justice. The IGP disclosed that the Election Security Management Action Plan would engender effective coordination among INEC, the police, military, and other security agencies. Well, one thing is that the Ipob members have come out to say, or their leadership has come out to say, they have suspended the sit-at-home order. Even the sit-at-home order is not going to disrupt any form of election, but the angle at which the Ipob said they are going to enforce, or which has been part of what they do to enforce the sit-at-home order, is where the problem would have, it would have caused a big problem. But now that they have suspended it, because sit-at-home order will not in any way bring chaos to the election processes. So that is that. The Southeast governors have come out to say, oh, the insecurity in the region is now beyond the IPOB, that a lot of vested interests that they have been able to meet with to say, oh, what are your whatever, and they have told them to desist from any form of violence and what have you. That is on the other side that I've been talking, that IPOB should know how to go about this whole thing, because some people have hijacked it, and those who are vested interests, they are using that as opportunity, and most of the things that you say, they use it against you. So you should know when to retreat and to re-strategize again, so that those who are working for the government and claiming that they are Biafrans, because now we have a lot of Biafran groups, just like Senator Baribe said, there are a lot of groups agitating for this Biafra, but they have not made themselves known. In one news that said That's the unknown gunmen now are now known because those ones are not showing their face. They are the ones doing that. Since IPOB has been saying that they have nothing to do with any form of violence or whatsoever, but now we begin to know them. So another thing that is on the side of the IPOB and the election that is coming up. Now that, because like I said before, most of all the time, not even most of the time, anytime there's an election in this country, you see that Nigerian government will deploy thousands of police. And you'll be wondering, maybe if they say they have a 30 something thousand, how many police men do we really have in this country? If 37,000 will be going just for an election, then that means the whole country will not have a police guiding them. Maybe they still have enough. But the question is that it is always, or the written here is that every election, that is how they are always deploying. It's not because of a Anambra, it's not because of a Ipob. That is how they are always deploying police all over the place. I don't understand. We don't want to move beyond that. But Buhari can be going to London to go and get sophisticated treatment here and there. But when it comes to replicating development into our country, it's a problem. Now, Amechi is being queried for building a modern train to other country from Kaduna to Maradi, or what Kano to Maradi or whatever, which is part of Niger. But within the country, we have a locomotive that are breaking down here and there. So when it comes again to the people who are crying every now and then that Fulani S-men, the bandits and whatever, they have been terrorizing their lives. You will never see that they will deploy police. They will never. But because election, the life of the politicians depend on that election. That is why they are always giving it that great attention, so that nobody will want to interfere. Nobody will want to do anything. But when it comes to the security or securing the lives of the people with all these so-called bandits, Fulani, Esme, Boko Haram, they will never deploy. They will never deploy. That is another angle. Now you are bragging, we are going to do this. How many farmers have stopped going to their farms? How many farmers farming is their source of livelihood? Now they have stopped. How many of them that their lives have been taken, that their families are now crying, they are going to be mourning to the rest of their lives? How many of those people that they are victims that you have arrested the perpetrators of all those of all those evil? No, you will not do that. You will never issue any statement. But when it comes to election and those who you think that they are soft targets, that is when you now be raising and be flexing power. That is the problem with all these security agents and the government, all of them together. Now you are bragging this and this and this and this and that. You want to do this, you want to do that. But when it comes to when people are crying out, we need help, you won't do anything. Now, in Oyo now, we are counting down the so-called Fulani Esme. They have issued or sent a message that they are coming to attack Oyo community. Is it not the time? Is it not this time that the police are supposed to issue a statement that whatever? They won't do that because their lives depend on election. It is not all about securing the people. No, they are not doing that to secure the people. They are doing that so that the election can go on smoothly and do all manner of atrocities that they usually commit. So guys, let's say your opinion and have your take on this.